Hello YouTube, my name is CB Paul. In this video, you will learn how to configure CyberPanel properly. In the last video, we have learned how to install Litespeed web server and CyberPanel on a cloud hosting. If you have not installed CyberPanel before, I would like to recommend you to go and watch the previous video. That is the best learning, the same method you can use to install Litespeed and CyberPanel on any cloud hosting. That includes AWS, Google Cloud, Walter, Linode, DigitalOcean, UpCloud or any popular hosting company. You can use the same method to install CyberPanel and Litespeed enterprises. If you have already installed Litespeed and CyberPanel in your server, then this video will help you to configure CyberPanel properly. To access CyberPanel, enter your IP in the browser address bar followed by :8090. I have already entered it in my browser and you can see CyberPanel login screen right now. If you have not seen this screen, in some PC you will see something like this, a warning SSL error or something. This is quite normal because your IP has no active SSL, because IP is not owned by you, it is owned by the server. So the SSL is missing, so this will come on almost, if you are accessing your IP first time, this error will come. Okay, this is in Mozilla, and in the Chrome it will be a different screen. In this situation, you have to click on the advanced tab, advanced button, then accept risk and continue. It is normal, there is no risk involved. Anyway, after you accept it, it will show you the same login screen. Okay. In my case, I am going to use Google Chrome. So I am entering my username and password. You can see this screen after you log in into CyberPanel. In this screen, I have already added a website to this CyberPanel. One website is hosting in this. One website is hosted in this server. The method I am following from last 2-3 years. Each time I create a server with a CyberPanel, I click on user, then I click on modify user. So first of all, we have to modify the user. The default user is admin. You can create more user. So I'll change the name of the user, because this one is default and the email ID is default, the owner of the CyberPanel. Okay, so we will going to use our own ID. In my case, I will use my ID. So right now I'm not changing it, but you have to change your ID. Okay, then you have to enter a password. You have to enter a password. If you wish, also I recommend, highly I recommend install two-factor authentication. You can use Google Authenticator or Authy. The Authy is I recommend Authy. That is, there is an option to back up your previous two-factor password. So I would like to use Authy as a two-factor authentication. Also, you have to enter a high security password. Okay, you have to change your email. You have to enter a high security password. You have to use two-step verification. Then modify this user. Okay, so this is the first step you have to do after you log in into cyber panel. Second thing, we will go one by one. Okay, this video might be long, but if you watch this video completely, it will save your time and you will learn something new. If you try to learn from the scratch, it will take a lot of your time. So we can see here users, as you see. In here, view profile. The profile means the admin profile. Okay, create new user. The another option is create new user. You can create a new user and give a admin access or something like that. Okay, you can give admin, you can use a reseller as a create user as a reseller, just a normal user. So this one panel can handle 3 kind of roles: admin, reseller and user. User will be your customer, reseller is your reseller, admin is you. Okay, if you are using the cyber panel only for yourself, then admin will be okay. And in user we have a reseller sender. So if you are planning to sell the server to a reseller and users, then this will work for you. Okay, in this user section, I have to tell you one thing, that is API. API is for backup. Mostly this used for if you can access this server from another server that is installed with a cyber panel. Okay, if you have a 2 server, one is in USA, another one is in India, then you can communicate both server through API. For that you may need this function enabled, that is called API. Okay, and another important thing is packages. In my case, I am not reselling my server, or I don't have any third-party users in my server. So I own my server and I manage everything. So package is not that much important. But anyway, I'll tell you what this is. In the package, the default one, you can change the number of domains. But you remember one thing, if you are using the free version of Litespeed Enterprises, that is limited to 2 GB RAM, in that kind of installation, there is a limitation for domains. Maybe you can use a maximum 3 domains. Okay, so even if it here is having 20, it will not work. If you are using Open Litespeed, then you can use unlimited domain. Or you are using a paid Litespeed server, the same situation, you can use unlimited domains. But if you are using free Litespeed, then the domain is limited to 3 in the server level, web server level. Okay, disk space, FTP accounts. Okay, so these settings you will need only if you have a reseller or users. Okay, otherwise you don't need this. Anyway, the second one is, now we have a look on user and packages. Then we are going for database. We will look into websites later. Okay, that's the main thing. We will look into that later. In the database, here is the interesting part. You can create database from here. Here also available PHP MyAdmin. Okay, if you click PHP MyAdmin, it will open. You can log into automatically. Okay, just click on access, you can log in. Okay, also you can create a database, list a database and delete. You can manage everything under the database. Okay, this is works like this. Anyway, the migration, backup, restore, everything is work with PHP MyAdmin. Okay, and DNS. So in DNS you can do a lot of things, like you can connect this DNS with Cloudflare. If you are using Cloudflare, as I am using Cloudflare for this domain. In the Cyber panel, you can connect Cloudflare with Cyber panel. The advantage is you don't need to copy each database to Cloudflare. Actually, your domain is with the Cloudflare, or your domain is with the Namecheap, and you are changing the name server to Cloudflare. Then Cloudflare act as your domain panel, also DNS. Okay, so you can manage everything in Cloudflare, almost everything. But then why we need it here? Okay, I will tell you one example. If you want to create a SPF records, you can get it from here. If you want to create a DKIM records for the domain signature, you can get it from here, because this server you have to put the DKIM in Cloudflare to verify your domain. That DKIM records you can get it from here only. For example, I am going to add or delete records. Okay, for this domain, see the actual SPF records, we can get it from here. You see this SPF records, DMRC records, DKIM records. So all these records we can get it from here. See this? This is automatically generated. Okay. Mostly you can copy and use it manually on Cloudflare. Otherwise, you can connect Cloudflare through Cloudflare API. Okay, use your Cloudflare email API token and sync it. Then all the records from here will go to here. Okay, so that is DNS settings in Cyber panel. Okay, and the another important one is email. Yes, you can host your domain on email account on Cyber panel. You can create email account, email ID. You can generate DKIM. You can access the webmail. Okay, and almost everything. Create email means you can create an account, a email ID. Okay, select a domain, select a username and put a password. So that will create a email account. After creating an email account, you have to access webmail. So here you can log in with the ID and password. Then you can send or receive emails through this panel. Okay. Then another thing is DKIM manager. In the email section, select a website, it will generate DKIM records. The same records you can see from here also, or you can copy from here manually. Okay, then use it in Cloudflare. DKIM and SPF records are very, very important to verify your domain for emails. Okay, signed by and mailed by things is directly related to DKIM and SPF. Okay, so DKIM, SPF is most important for email. If you are not going to use email on Cyber panel, then it will not need for you. It is not needed. Okay, then FTP. You know FTP, how FTP works. You can create a FTP account and access the files and everything from a remote location through FTP transfer. You can manage FTP accounts. You can manage everything, almost everything. Select a website and create an FTP account and give it to your developer. The developer can upload files to this server without giving him the login ID and password. Okay, so the panel is yours. FTP account is to the developer, so he can manage everything remotely. So that is FTP. The another most liked one, I like this one very much. Really, I like this option, backup, restore. You can set up Google Drive here, so all the all the files will back up to your Google Drive. So that is an amazing thing. But for the one thing, I use this very much, because for restore from another server, like this example, I am having a server in USA with a cyber panel and Litespeed. Another server I am having in Singapore or India. Okay, I hosted one website in USA. Then after, I am planning to host the same website in a different location or a same location but a new server. Okay, in one server I have 5 websites, and one website got huge traffic, so I need to move that site to a new server with high performance. Okay, I created a server and installed the Litespeed, installed the cyber panel, everything, but I have to move my files, folders, database to the new server. That is the riskiest part. Most of the people do this manually, copying and moving. That will kill your time. But cyber panel have an amazing option to do that. That is wonderful. I like this very much. You can transfer any website from any location, from any server. If you are using cyber panel in both location, both server, you can do this very quick, within 5 minutes. The database, email, files, folders, images, everything in your website will move to another server as it is. That option is under remote backup. You click on remote backup, then just enter the IP of the another server where is your website is located, that IP and that server login password. Then it will fetch and it will work. Okay, so for that working, you need to enable API, so don't forget that. Okay, don't forget this. If you enable API, then only it will work. Backup, remote backups. Let's see how it is working or not. Just enter a password, then click on fetch accounts. Then here it will show all the domains. So I will create a dedicated video how to move one website from a server to another server, both having cyber panel. I will create a new video and I will upload it just after this video. So if you want to see how does this works, wait for my next video. Okay, then incremental backup. Actually, I didn't use it, so I don't know much about this. How does this works? Anyway, you can try yourself. Another one is SSL. You can use Let's Encrypt SSL from here. You can use SSL, host name, mail server, everything. So I recommend you to use both, all these 3. Okay, and there is another option. It is server under server section. Terminal. I am not using this because I always use putty for the terminal. Putty as my terminal. Here also you can use a terminal. That's all. It is not. See, this is how does this works. Okay, so it is almost the same like putty. Okay, you can log in. It is already logged in, automatically log in as root. Okay, Cloud Linux, I am not using this. I am not very much a fan of this. Okay, containerization. This is a new function. I not used it, so I don't know how does that works. Anyway, I will learn. Then I will create a new video about this. Tuning. Okay, this section, tuning. See, almost every setup, Litespeed having default is best for a best server. It is best tuning. If you know what to increase, what to not increase, if you are an advanced user, then only you have to change this. In my case, this is enough. Okay, this is enough. Sometimes you will need more power, then you can increase this, but majority 99%, 95% of the times we don't need to change these settings. But you can improve this cache size in memory. You can improve this. You can enable this gzip compression. Okay, all that things you can do, but the other things is not that much important for 95% of people. Okay, then there is a PHP section, PHP tuning. How does this works? I have to add one thing that is most important. This is a PHP 7.4. We can improve the memory, upload memory, memory soft limit, hard limit, all that. One more thing I have to tell you, sometimes in the PHP MyAdmin, maybe PHP MyAdmin is using PHP 7.2, but you are using 7.4 for all your websites. 7.4 for all your websites and 7.2 for your PHP MyAdmin. Then you have to increase the same values in both versions, in 7.2 as well as 7.4. Otherwise, you have to change the PHP MyAdmin version to the latest one. So that needs some manual operation, manual configuration. So just remember that. Okay, in PHP, when you are configuring PHP, just be careful. Okay, most of the cases this is not a problem, but sometimes you have to change in both places. So you have to find which PHP version is using in the PHP MyAdmin. Okay, that's all, nothing else. Then another option is server status. You can see all the status, you can monitor everything, you can kill some functions. Okay, and the Litespeed status is there is a license manager. You can change the license, you can reboot Litespeed. That's that kind of functions. And CyberPanel log file, you can see server services status. Okay, you can reload, you can reboot the database, DNS, Litespeed, all that things. Okay, and change port. You can change the ports from here. The default port. Okay, now it's 8090. You can use 9090 or some other number. This one is default, so almost all the people know 8090 is the CyberPanel port. So you can change it from here. Anyway, another PHP option. So from here we have seen a PHP tuning, but here we have a PHP functions. Install extensions. Install extension means you can install any extension, like mostly IonCube is by default, it is not installed. Some extension like Redis you can install. This one is needed in the some options are needed for the WordPress. Okay, so you can install from here manually. If some options is not available here, you can install manually from the terminal. Okay, so that's not a problem. You can do this almost everything, and the support will also help you to if you have any doubts, you can ask the support, then they will help you. Okay, so PHP configuration, this is something different. This is different than the tuning. So the tuning is different, here is different. Actually, the memory limit of a database of uploading settings is here, not the tuning. Okay, the tuning is different. Actually, I have mentioned it wrongly before. Okay, I said this one is different. This one is the hardware, server related PHP. The PHP using in your server function settings are here, but the PHP functions for your websites are here. So don't confuse. Okay, so I said before it is wrong. I said the PHP tuning is for your website. No, that is wrong. Okay, that is wrong. I'm very much sorry. Forgive me for that. Okay, the PHP functions for your website. Here you don't need to change anything. Almost you don't need to change. You can increase 60 to 600, no problem. Okay, but you don't need to change here. The changes you made here will affect on this panel, affect on your backend, your admin panel. Okay, cyber panel. But the change on here will affect on your website. The post maximum size, upload file size, maximum execution time, memory limit. So you have to increase almost all this. This is 300, this is 200, this is 100, this is 600. So this one is the very important thing. Okay, so PHP configuration, you can see recommended configuration settings on Google. Anyway, if you are using WordPress, then 300, 200, 80 or 100, 600 is best. After you set up, you can restart PHP. One more thing you don't forget. In the advanced tab, you can change the things in the command line, in the nodes. Okay, you can change this. This is very much careful. You have to be very careful while you open this file. Okay, a small change will cause big errors. So some cases you need to edit in the advanced file. Some case you can do from these options. Okay, so anyway, after you save, do a restart. Okay, one more time I am telling, this PHP configuration is for your websites, and the PHP tuning option is for the panel now you are using. Okay, so if a cyber panel is slow, you can increase this. This is the total PHP limit for the entire server. Okay, so this is for server, entire server, backend and all. This is for your websites. Okay, so PHP is one important thing in cyber panel. Okay, other things, logs. You know what is logs. You can monitor error logs, mail logs, FTP and all that. The security, then we can go for the security. The firewall, you can activate firewalls. By default, it is everything is done for a better security, but you can tune it for advanced thing. Okay, sometimes you can change the port, sometimes you can close the ports, and you can manage just one port open, or you can one port is for just your IP. So almost all things is possible from here. Okay, so security is very much needed one. Mostly the people doing closing all the ports, closing all ports and open just one port. They are opening other ports when only they need it. Okay, when only they need it. So this things works like that. Anyway, playing here is not recommended. If you know what you are doing, then only do it. Otherwise, don't play here. Okay. Then mail settings. Okay, mail queues, email limits, all that. So as I said before, you are not going to use email in this server, then don't play here. Okay. If you are using emails, then okay. I have a recommendation, like if you are using 1 or 2 websites in this hosting, then you can use emails. Okay, if you have 3 or 4 big websites, then don't use email in this cyber panel. If you're using cPanel, then that will work, but cyber panel is not that much a professional tool. This is getting for free. This is a not paid tool. This is a free tool actually. So if you are using Litespeed enterprises, you can use email without any issues. If you are using open Litespeed, then email will be some problems. Okay, so I am not recommending cyber panel emails with open Litespeed, but I recommend cyber panel with Litespeed for emails. Okay, anyway, manage services. I'm not using this much things. Okay, then the main thing that is we moved it for later. Okay, the websites. Okay, the website setup. Here we have a few options. When I click on list websites, you can see all the listed websites here. Okay, we can add a website, we can remove a website. Once you remove, it is removed forever. Okay, don't so keep that in mind. Once you remove, it will remove forever. So don't play here that much. Okay, creating a website. For creating a website, if you are planning to use just a HTML website, then you can go directly and just select a package as seen on here. Select a owner. Okay, then add your domain, email, then select PHP. Okay, PHP version, which one you need for the domain, the website. Then select all the functions. If you need an email, then create email. The first 3 is important. Email, if you need, then it will create an additional domain for email. That's all. You can use the same domain for email, no problem. But if you need a separate domain, then it will create it automatically. So how does this works? Okay, so creating a website. See, I will create a new website now. Just a sample website. Okay, this is how we create a website on CyberPanel. Creating a website doesn't mean everything will be created. This is creating a part on the server for that website. There is folders and all that things is created. But remember, database you have to create manually in the database option. Okay, so creating a website means creating a section for websites that includes almost all necessary files, folders and all things. Okay, if you are going to use WordPress, there is an option for one-click installation option under websites. In my case, I always install WordPress manually. I download the entire package from their website, then I upload it manually, then I create a database manually. I will do one thing. I will create a new video how I create WordPress website in CyberPanel. Okay, how I create WordPress websites in CyberPanel and how I configure that. I will create a new video, so you can expect 2 videos from me. One is moving a website from one server to another server, and another video I will create for you creating a WordPress website using CyberPanel and creating database. Unlike other unlike other shared hosting, they are creating database automatically, so we have no control. But when you're using this kind of cloud hosting, you can create database yourself, so you can decide which password, which database name you should use, so you have a full control on database. So that is why I always use these methods. So website is created. Okay, I hope you remember the domain, that is this domain is in Namecheap, but okay, why? Because we need to point the DNS to here. We have to point the DNS to here. I will show you how to do this. Now I am going to point the new domain database, the new domain DNS to this server and to show you how does this page look like, the default website created. So the default page, we have to see things are working or not. Okay, so how to do that? The domain is in Namecheap and I use Cloudflare as my DNS. So how to do this? First I am going to Cloudflare, then I adding a domain. Okay, I am adding this domain, add website. I choose the free option, continue. Scanning for existing DNS records. So it will scan DNS records that existed in the previous domain server. See, these are in Namecheap. So I don't need all these DNS. Okay, I don't need. So I can delete this. These are parking. Namecheap, by default Namecheap parking all the domains to their different pages. So I don't need this because I am moving my DNS from Namecheap. Still my domain will be in Namecheap. But my DNS panel will be Cloudflare. So that is I am going to do here. First I delete all the existing, but it is not a deleting from Namecheap. It is, we are not using Namecheap documents, Namecheap records here. That's all. We are not going to use that. Okay, so just click continue. Without any records we can continue. Okay, without DNS records Cloudflare is unable to activate your site. It is best if you set up your DNS records now. Confirm. Okay, so what we have to do now? Okay, in this screen Cloudflare showing us 2 name server address. So we have to point our domain to this DNS. So I copy the first one, then I go to Namecheap panel. In this Namecheap panel, the same domain, we have to select here custom DNS 1 and custom DNS 2. We have to use the second custom DNS. So 2 DNS we are using here from the Cloudflare. So we have entered all the 2 DNS in Namecheap. Okay, then check, click on the mark, check mark. Done. So in Namecheap it is very slowest DNS. Actually it is very slow, so it will take a lot of time to move to Cloudflare. But Cloudflare is very quick. Anyway, from here we added Cloudflare DNS. It will take some time. Anyway, I hope it will go fast at least this time. Okay, let's hope it will the propagation will done quickly. Anyway, after add Cloudflare DNS from here, we have to click on done. Configure your domain settings to improve security. Finish later. Okay, just finish that later. Okay. How we know it is propagated properly from Namecheap to Cloudflare. Go to DNS. Here it is blank because we deleted all the existing records from Namecheap here. Okay. We have to add one thing that is most important. Actually, two records are most important for host a domain to a server. One is A records. How the A records works? Here we have to select A, then at, okay, and we have to copy our IP here. This should be gray for this time. Okay. If you proxied, then it will take some other setup, like a proxy means it will be cached over the Cloudflare network. So for now, we need this should be gray. This is a record. Another one record we need, that is a CNAME records. So click on add, select CNAME, again www, okay, then put your domain, just domain, okay. So what we have done now, one A record that at to your IP, another one CNAME www to your IP. Okay, so two records we created. Now just to reload the page, reload the website. Yes, the propagation is done. Thanks to Namecheap, because they are mostly very slow, but this time they propagated very quick. Anyway, thank you. So this time we created a website manually. By default, CyberPanel page is showing. The default CyberPanel. Every time you create a website on CyberPanel, this page will come. If this page is coming, everything, DNS and your website files and folders, everything works. Now you have to, if your website is built on HTML, you can do that. If your website is built on WordPress, you can do that. So once your domain is open in browser, you have completed the major things. Okay, so in my another video, I will tell you detail. So how to host a website on CyberPanel, how to install a WordPress website in CyberPanel, how to in this video we just said like creating a website. So your website is now open, okay, but the other parts, the file folder and all that things, we will discuss in a new video. So managing a website on CyberPanel will be in a new video, because the time is so much. So if you watch this video completely, you are going to save a lot of time when you work in real server. If you skip, you will having some confusions. So this video is a best video for CyberPanel configurations. Some things we skip because that is not that much important for hosting a website. Okay, everything is important in some cases, but most of the people, 95% of the people using CyberPanel to host their websites, and only they focus on that way. So for them, this video is enough. In my new video, I will detailedly say how to host a website. Now we just created a domain and the default page is showing, but in the another video we will install HTML without any CMS, the one page or few pages HTML sites. Then we will remove that and we will install WordPress in one click. Then we will remove that. Then we will install WordPress manually. So all that setup will be on my new video. So back to back I am uploading videos related to CyberPanel this time. Then we will focus on another topic like a hosting server and all that things. So if you not subscribed to this channel yet, I would like to recommend you to subscribe and hit the like button. Share this to your friends. They are learning so much things. They would like to learn so much things. Okay, so I don't know how much time I took for this video, but anyway, it will be a waste of time. Okay, this will adding value to your future. So if you spend 1 hour, if you spend 30 minutes, this will save you a lot of time if you learn in real life. Okay, I learned this from last 2 years. So you just spend 1 hour and you learned a lot. Okay, so you saved your time. So thank you for watching this video. I hope I wish you very good success. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe this channel. Okay, thank you so much.